Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. So I am duping the brand new NATASHA DENONA Bloom palette. And the best part is I'm using all Dollar Tree eyeshadow. So this palette is available today on the Sephora app and tomorrow on the NATASHA DENONA website, I believe. So this palette is gonna be $69. As always, a very pricey palette, as NATASHA DENONA is a luxury brand, but I saw this today and was like, I'm pretty sure I can dupe this. Anyways, thought it would be super fun to dupe it with Dollar Tree eyeshadow as always. I love doing these videos, and I've done several, so I will have my entire playlist linked down below if you want to check out other videos like this where I dupe luxury and high-end eyeshadow palettes with Dollar Tree eyeshadow. So of course, if you're a returning Dollar Diva, thank you so much for coming on back for another video. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica, and I'm basically a bargain makeup channel. What I mean by that is I love to do a lot of the same fun content that other makeup channels do. I just like to try to keep it in the bargain price point. So the closer to $1, the better. And doing these duping videos are some of my favorite ones to make, where I dupe luxury, high-end eyeshadow palettes with Dollar Tree eyeshadow. I do have a pretty extensive Dollar Tree and bargain eyeshadow palette collection. So I have a lot of things that I pull from, but I always say these are an inspiration to look at your own collection to decide whether or not you need a new palette, because oftentimes there are a lot of repetitive colors that we already have or have something super similar to. So I just think these are fun and get us thinking about our own collection even more than a new palette or what we don't have. So I love doing these. So again, I'll have that playlist linked down below if you want to watch more after you're done with this video. And the makeup look I am wearing is just a chatty get ready with me. It's mostly Dollar Tree makeup, but I did go into my Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette, showed it some love. So, and I'm just catching everyone up on the last like 3 weeks of my life. So, anyways, I'll have that linked down below as well. So without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm hoping by the time I edit this video and put it up, there are swatches available, like online. So I've gone by what the descriptions are of each shadow and what they look like in the pan. So the first shade is called, I'm gonna mess up some of these names, y'all, Fluorescence. It's described as a metallic medium vivid tangerine. So something I hauled when I was in Florida recently. I've got a lot of the bubble tea quads from LA Colors, but this color story here is either new or I passed on it last year when they came out, but I picked it up. So it's from the Bubble Tea collection. It is the Peachy Shimmer palette, and I went into this shade right here. I feel that that is a metallic medium vivid tangerine. So there is that shade right there. Then the shade Bark. It's described as a matte medium dark gingerbread brown. So I think there's a lot of shades that could cover this, but I went into the Beauty Intuition Smoky Browns, and I went into this shade right here. So there we are so far. Then the next one is the shade Keen. It's described as a matte light medium nude tangerine. So I think again, there was a lot of shades I could have gone into for this, but I went into the LA Colors 6 pan in Night Out, and I went into this shade right here. That right there is what we've got so far. So then the shade Wren. It's described as a matte medium coral pink, and I went into the Beauty Intuition Soft Pinks palette, and I went into this shade right here. There we go. So I think for the next two shades there, I'm actually going to be going into the Soft Pinks palette. I'm going to be going into these two shades right here. So the first one is Fleur. This is where I'm going to mess up how to say it. F-L-E-U-R, Fleur. It's a duochrome light pink with an icy ivory shift. So I think I'm going to go into that darker shade there because it looks a little bit more like the pan. Actually, I lied about that. I'm actually for the next shade, which is Crisp. It's a sparkling foil duochrome coral with gold. I'm going to go into the Be Pure Cherry Quad and go into that shade right there. It's got some pink in it. It's metallic-y, and I think that'll be the closest thing that I have. Then the shade Lush. It's a sparkling foiled light nude apricot. I went back into the LA Colors Bubble Tea palette in Peachy Shimmer, and I went into that shade right there. And there we go. I think that's coming along really, really nicely. Then the next shade is a matte medium bright terracotta. And I think there's a lot of different colors. There's this one and another one that I think you could use a lot of different things for, but I went ahead into the Moody Neutrals and I went into this shade right here. And there we go. And then the shade Rue, it's described as a metallic medium light burgundy. And I went back and again, Moody Neutrals palette, and I went into that shade right there. Again, I think there's a lot that I could have used, but I'm gonna use that one right there. There we go. It doesn't look as much like the pan, but the description, I think, describes it perfectly. Then FLOS, Flows. It's described as a matte medium vintage rose. And again, for that, I could have gone into a lot of different things, but I went into the La Mercerie 9-pan palette, and I went into this shade right here. There we go. Then the shade Petal, it's described as a silky matte light salmon. So I went into the soft pinks and went into this shade here because to look at it in the pan, it looks very similar to this. So there we go. Just a few more. The shade Ember, it's a sparkling foiled medium brick. And I went into the Dreamy Mauves palette and went into this right here. So I think that one there is very good for the description. Then the shade Robin, it's described as a silky matte medium dusty coral. And again, back into the Moody Neutrals palette, and this shade here seemed to be the best match. There it is. Okay, we got two more. The shade Clover is a matte dark vivid burgundy. So I went back into the Dreamy Mauves and I went into that shade right there. And there it is. And the last shade is Equinox. It's described as a sparkling foiled duochrome peach with a turquoise blue shift. This one I thought was going to be super tricky, but I think I have a really good match for it. So again, it's described as a foiled duochrome peach. I might not have a foiled, but I've got one that's kind of shimmery that has a turquoise blue shift. This has kind of a bluish shift to it. So the soft pinks palette, this shade right here. It's hard to tell in the pan, but when you swatch it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little blue shift to it. I don't know if the camera's even picking it up, but it's probably not quite as vivid as the Natasha Denona, but it might get you a similar effect. So here are the swatches, and let's see, I like it better. It looks kind of better this way. I think overall we did a really good job. I think a lot of these shadows would get you the vibe of the palette. A lot of times once you put it on the eye, the subtle differences are just that. They're super subtle, nothing that you would really even be able to tell. So I think we did a pretty good job. So like I said, I hope this inspires you to look into your collection and see what you're able to come up with when a new palette comes out that might be a little pricey, and you might be thinking of buying it, or you might not be able to afford it and you just want to see what you have in your collection that could get you, a few eye looks from a new palette. I think it's really fun to do these. I always love seeing what I can come up with. So like I said, I will have my entire playlist linked down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, show me you did by hitting the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.